So this is the painting we're going to do today. A beautiful sunset winter landscape. So all you need for this painting is, I have burnt umber, and I have cad red, and I have cad yellow, and I have titanium white, and I also have some ultramarine blue. This one's Windsor blue, but ultramarine blue is much better. So, and I also have some nice brushes for you to use, and this will make your painting a lot simpler. Some blue and black, you know, just all their different dark colors. Get a nice chiseled edge. And let's start, let's see, just up here a little bit. So we're going around here, let's just say we'll make a couple of dots just to have an idea where we're going with this. Then we're going to make some, pull out some lines. Use your chiseled edge. To the left, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left. To the left, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, straight up. Go over what you already did. And there's another one right here behind it. This one is thicker. The other one's not quite as thick. Just put on a few little dots to see where we're going with it. And to the right, to the right, to the left, straight up. That'll help you get some little curves going on there. Okay, so we're going to put that away, and we're going to get a liner brush out. I'm going to take out my long liner brush, and I'm going to go back over this again with thinner lines. Same deal. To the left, to the right, straight up. Just go over what you already did. That will help you get some nice thinner lines on top of what you just did, and it'll give you some more curvy. See how they come back up? When they come up like that, it makes it look like there's more there. And pretty. Now, we are going to work on these trees again. So get your fan brush, and you could use fan brush, a chiseled edge brush, or palette knife. So you take your palette knife, put white on it, and put it on the sides and pull it over. But I'm going to use my fan brush for now. There's lots of different ways you can do things. So I'm just going to put some white on my brush with the teeniest bit of blue, and because I don't want it to be chalky white. So always add a little something to your white paint. So we'll take the fan brush and we lay it up against the edge. So we'll assume the light is coming in from the right. So we will put the fan brush at the very edge of your tree. Touch and pull in. Touch and pull in. See how all the bristles break up the paint? You don't have to worry, but you don't have to take one brush and individually put those on. So that's what I like about the fan brush. That's why I picked that. Alright? Because you won't get that with the chiseled edge brush, but you'll get a nice effect. If you use a chiseled edge brush, put a piece on and then skip so you can see the dark, okay? But the fan brush, you don't have to worry, you just put it on. This is the Bristle. Looks better already, doesn't it? All these little things that you do, you know, really makes a big difference. So take the time to sit down with your paintings and relax. Don't struggle with it, just relax. Just get the paint done first. Get your painting done first, and all these small details, look at it. Like I can see, I'm not going to call this finished when I get some of this done. I still want to work on this, I want to work on this. I might put a few more little white clouds in the sky. I'll just keep going. I might put some more white snow in there. So don't just do your painting and throw some paint on and say, okay, it's done. That way you can relax, and the more you do with it, the more you play around with it, and the more you start to see it coming to life, then you will enjoy it more. And when it's finished, you look at it and go, I painted that. Might have taken you a couple of days even, but it'll be worth it. Now, enough for my prep talk. Just want you to relax and enjoy painting, because it's not something that you're rushed to do or anything. This is your time. Now I got my liner brush again, and I'm going to put some white paint on that also with a bit of blue. And I'm going to, because the liner brush is so nice and tiny, I can get into the smaller branches. Some white paint, some blue, and I'm going to put some snow on top of some of these little branches. You just need to keep one side dark, right? Just imagine where the snow might have fell. Alright, so see how that little bit of snow brings it out so much nicer? Isn't that pretty? And see the little bit of blue in the white, how it gives that glow of a white, but not pure white. Not that chalky look. This little bit of snow on the branches really, really, really looks good. And you don't have to worry about if it's on the right or left side, because we don't know where the snow fell. But you can almost tell in nature that it would fall on the back of this one, because if it fell underneath, it probably would fall off. So just, you know, imagine where that snow might have fallen. But you can see how pretty it is. What a difference all these small details make. Big, big difference. There we go. A little bit of snow. These branches are really relaxing, aren't they? How nice to be able to just sit back and a little bit of paint, make a tree, make some black lines and put a bit of paint and squiggly lines, put a bit of paint on top of them, and it comes out to be a beautiful, beautiful tree. And you could use these in your other paintings too. Any of your winter paintings, you can make these. And they really add a lot to your painting. And after you do a few of them, they're so easy. You have to have the right brushes too. You don't want to be struggling, and it's nothing to do with you, it's all to do with the brush. So liner brushes are really important, and nice tiny skinny ones, even if they're long, as long as the top is nice and thin, because some of the long ones are got a thick top to them. You know, you can see the difference. See, and they're come in all sizes. So if you buy 2 or 3 or 4, you should be able to get them for $1 each at least, or a package of them for $5 at any of the Walmarts or dollar stores or Amazon or anywhere, and have different sizes so that you can. So then you don't get frustrated, because you can check out all your brushes and just play with them until you find the one you like the best. And then put that one aside, or tag it, or, you know, even if you put out my favorite brush, because you wouldn't believe, you know, when you lay it down, you say, which one was my favorite brush again? So it helps take away a lot of the torment and frustration of, just get organized if you can. I know you guys are working, or, you know, things get in the way of your painting. You love to paint, but you don't feel up to it that day. That's not, just go with the flow. There's going to be a lot more days, better days. Go with the flow. That looks pretty, doesn't it? That looks pretty. This one here, see, it's very thick in there. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to separate it. And when I separate that, it's going to make it look so much better. See? So anything you don't like, you can also go over it again. I think I got got everything I want to do. If I don't, I'll go back later. Because right now, you might look at it and say, okay, that's done there, and there. And then you might go back after it's all, you think it's all done, and have a look at it and go, oh, okay, I can add another little bit of this here and a little bit of that there. So that looks pretty good there so far. It's coming along. I want to add a small bit of snow to my little ones here. Just a small bit, because I want to separate these a little bit, just to, not too thick. Here we go. That brightens them a little bit more. We don't want it too bright, but that's nice. I'm going to take a little bit of snow and tap that on here, so I can bury the edges in the snow. Okay, put a little bit in towards here. Don't forget to think about values also, okay? Your 3 values. If you got 3 values on everything, you should be safe to. Now you can add layers and layers after that, but once you got your 3 values done, then you'll see it come to life, because it will have more depth and a little more realistic and things like that. So 3 values. So you got your dark value and your medium value right here, and we'll add a little bit of a 3rd value there now in a minute. So you have dark value, now a medium value. We'll put some white on top of that, and that'll be your 3rd value, see? And don't cover up your 1st and 2nd values. Alright, try not to cover them up. Work with it. Let them show through. See, that's a bit of extra snow there, and that makes them look like they're buried in snow, see? So all these little details, when other people are looking at your paintings, they'll say, oh, it looks like they're in the snow, and you know, they notice these things. You may not know it, but they notice these things. And that's why it keeps their eye on your painting. If you got lots going on, and lots of details, they'll stare at your painting for a while. And if they're staring at it, it's because they're looking at the different things that are done. Okay. So I'll add my 3rd value, just a little bit down here. Just a little bit. Just to brighten up the bottom part a little bit. Okay. You add a little bit more here and here. Make sure you don't cover up all your 2nd value or your 1st value. Alright. Let's get you so you can see that. It's just a little bit, not much. It's good. Smaller details like these in here, you may not need to add more, but you can certainly add a little bit more white if you want to go for a 3rd value. Your 3rd value can be the white, pure white, because you're not going to put it here and there. You're not going to Want to make it stand out a little bit more, just add pure white instead. In spots. You don't need it everywhere. But if that's your third value, see? Let's say the sun is shining in through here, so you can just put on different places. Don't need it everywhere. Just out here. See how that third value just really brightens everything up? See that? See how it just, right? So if I never put that third value on, it'd be nice, but it'd be a little dull, you know what I mean? So it's just because we add a little tiny bit of a third value, a little extra snow. So I could say to you, just add a little extra snow, but saying add a third value, you might be able to remember it easier, right? So think of values. And then anything then you want to add on top of it, you can do that. You can add a little extra snow, you can, right? But you don't want to go back to the first value unless you did something that you need to fix. You need to go back to the first value of black. But you know, just go from dark, medium, and light, and really makes a difference. See if your branches are not the way you want them, just divide them up. Divide them up, and that will make it a little better. Right, so see that little bit of snow, how nice that looks? Not pretty? I want to take my chiseled edge brush, synthetic, and I'm going to put some white on it with a little tiny bit of blue and white, mostly white. And I'm going to put something around these trees. I'm just going to see how that that will make the snow look like it's buried. The trunks look like they're buried in snow. Can you pull up a little bit around the trunk there? Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. So we already have our dark right here, our shadows. That's our first medium. And we have some more snow on here, which is our second medium, and our third. We can work on our third now. Our third value, I should say. All this our talk. Getting all mixed up my words. Values, mediums. Oh my goodness gracious. And the thing is, you might say something and not even realize it because you're on camera, and you could be listening and you'd be like thinking that what I said, because I don't always take what people say as reality, because you're on camera here and you could say a word that don't make any sense. So if something don't make sense or you're not sure about it, email me or the artist you're looking at and ask them, is that what they meant to say? Alright. Email or put in the comments section. Say, did you mean to say mediums or did you mean to say values? So I'm just adding some white to the snow. You can use a fan brush if you want. Whatever gives you the best results. And a little extra snow. I'm just dipping in my pure white there now because I already have my values on there. And just getting some more highlight on top. So you can use a pure white if your paint underneath is wet, then that will blend in with the paint underneath. If your paint is dry, it's great for any really bright areas that you want to use. I'm just going to put a little extra snow in here. I'm going to push it up into the trees a little bit every now and then. There we go. Looks nice. Right, on to some with the other side, a little bit of added white to my snow. I'm going to go up here under the trees, and I'm going to push up into the trees a little bit. The snow looks like it's going into the trees. And I'm going to go straight across because, like we said, trying to make that look a little more flat instead of going down a hill. So I'm just using my chiseled edge. I'm coming over here. I'm going horizontal. Just putting a little short strokes because I don't want to lose all my shadow. Alright. That looks nice. I'm going to work on this part here. I'm going to get a really dark color, kind of a grayish color with a bit of black. Maybe a bit of blue, a bit of red. And then I'm going to make these, and I want to get it so that it's a little darker here on this edge. Bring it up into the snow a bit. Horizontal. Make some of these patterns by pushing, come back out, move down, push out. Now you might say, well, what work we did with it? Well, if you don't like it or it don't look right, go over it. Don't be afraid. I wasn't happy with that, so. Besides, it's only just a start. Just because you did something don't mean it's done. It's just a start, you know, it's just a guide until you get to where you want to go with it, okay? Just a little guide. So if you have to go over something again, go over it. But at least it's there to show you where everything is. It's there for you. And bring some out into the road a little bit. I want to use that light that I have here. horizontal. See, if you leave it horizontal, it will make it more flat. Try to make some shapes to these. Even if it takes you a little while, take your time. It takes you a little while to do it, you know. But as soon as you like what you see, then you're good to go. If you like it. I like that better than what I had before, okay? But like I said, I only had it there before just to get me started. Get everything in place. Doesn't matter if it looked messy or because it didn't matter. But as long as I had that in the right area, you know. See, you got to get all your ideas and shapes down. And then you can do anything. Now, okay, so let's take a gray, light gray color on your liner brush. Put back some of those. Actually, we should make them dark, I'm sorry. Give it a dark value because you won't be able to see them if you're too light. So just put some of these shadows back in, basically is what it is. Clean off your brush, same brush, liner brush. Put a little bit of white on the edges here just to brighten it up a bit, because we still have that light coming in from that sunset back there. Need a little bit of an edge there. Get some more light back in here. I may have to do this 4 or 5 times before I can get this bright as I want. Alright. I really want that area nice and bright. Just add a tiny bit of yellow just so that it won't be too chalky looking. But you can see how bright it is there. If you can't get your brushes clean enough because you're going into a lot of darks and it might be hard to get off your brush, just have 2 or 3 extra brushes around so you can use a fresh brush instead of using the same brush over and over, but they, you know, similar brushes. So because I got that nice and bright there, I want to brighten this up a little bit here too. So I'm just going to go with my white. And I want to get nice and white here. See how that brings it to life? Make sure you get a clean brush. That little bit brings it to life better. Trying to get down a little bit between the trees. Just turn the corner of my brush. See if I can do that. Nice. That really brightens it up nicely. So now we'll work on the road. So, nice clean brush because we're going into the yellow and the red. So make sure your brush is perfectly clean. Not a thing on it. Chiseled edge. Now, let's see what we can do here. Let's see. Because we already have it pretty well, you know, nice stage there, but another coat of paint, 3rd coat of paint, another layer. Now see, you must be thinking layers and values, okay? So, we have dark, medium, and light values there, but now we're going to do another layer. So we can do another layer of values. Alright, so as if you're starting all over again, that's all. Don't get too confused, you'll be okay. It can be confusing. I wish I had someone telling me all this stuff when I first started. I used to watch Bob Ross. I was amazed. I was like, oh my goodness. Wow. I'm going to give that a try. And I tried it, but I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't have a clue. Even though he explained certain things and that, but I just couldn't seem to get it. But anyway, through all my struggles, but it was hard because you guys may learn a little faster now because you have so much help. I know I didn't have YouTube. It seems so long ago, doesn't it? But I think YouTube came out around 2005. And I started doing this 2000, you know, just getting into enjoying it and liking it and trying new things. But I never had nobody, the art books, which was pretty good help. I do find the videos much help, it explains more, you know, the videos, some of the videos explains more. You don't have to second guess what you're doing and what brushes to use. That was the biggest thing for me too, you know. What brushes did I need to use? So, this shadow and this sky and this shadow have to match a little bit. So I got mine a bit green. I'd rather have it a lighter gray, but I'm going to go over that a little bit with some lighter gray. So I'm going to make a grayish color, and my little bit of blue, whatever colors you used before, and I'm going to water it down with some water, thin it out. You can use a glazing medium also, that might help you. So if you're trying to get it to be transparent so that you don't cover up everything that's underneath, get a little bit of glazing medium. Showed you this before. Glazing medium. Should have it in my Amazon shop. I'll do that. See if that helps. If you got too much paint on your brush, that's going to make it still thick. So I'm going to just trying to match it up. Not easy. Sometimes it's just not easy, no matter how hard you try. So we're going to darken this up a little bit down here to give it more of a shadowy color. I'm using the chiseled edge of the brush just so I can let some of that orangey color come through. Right, so I might lighten it up a bit more with some white. I don't want it to be too dark. A bit of glazing medium. I want to match the sky a little bit. Don't forget to keep going up around the bend there. Okay. There we go. Let some of that orange come through as you go closer. Alright, so there we go. This time I'm just going to take my glazing medium and put on my brush without, on my dirty brush. I'm not going to pick up any more paint. I'm going to try that. There's my glazing medium right here. Okay. And I'm going to try and just move that along without adding any more paint so I can see through it still a bit. That's a bit better. So experiment, try different things to see what works, okay? There we go. Just pick up glazing medium, no paint, no paint. Go back over that again with your glazing mediums. If you put more paint on, then you'll be getting too much and too thick. So use your glazing medium to spread it out more. There we go, see? So every time you go back now, just get glazing medium, and that will keep it wet, because if it dries on you then it's going to be harder to work with because it won't move. But while it's wet, just move it out like that. Go with the shape of the road. Go with the shape of the road. There we go. Now, I am going to use my glazing medium, and I'm going to smooth it out that way too, okay? Just a bit of glazing medium over a paint you already did. Make sure it's wet. You'll be able to get some nice effects. Alright? And we will add more orangey color. A little bit of glazing medium. And you don't have to use glazing medium, you can use a bit of water if you want, but if you bought mediums, you might as well use them. Alright, so you get used to them and then you enjoy them then, because you're used to, you don't always have to use them, but you might come up with some great ways to use them. You look at some of the videos, you don't hear too many artists that, adding glazing mediums or any mediums to their paintings in the videos very often. You don't see them. Only when they're doing like flowers and stuff, right? But landscapes and things, they like to keep the paint thick, unless you're doing a glaze or something over it. But as for using a lot of mediums in your landscapes and certain paintings that you do, you don't really need them. But I think for flowers and things you need them because you need such a smooth result. But with landscapes, you're always trying to get some texture, and you're always trying to get some color. But that's starting to blend there better now. So you have to experiment with everything. Just experiment, see what works. All right, a little bit of an orangey color here. Still coming around that bend there. I do find if you dip into your glazing medium when your paint starts to dry a little bit, that does help it to move. Also go over that white with a bit of glazing medium because your brush is dirty, and that will, instead of covering up what you have done, it'll just give it a little bit of a hint of color. I think that's a little better. What do you think? You think this here needs to be smoothed out a bit more? I'll try a bit of yellow in my glazing medium. Oh, yeah, that's it. There we go. I don't want it to look like, I want it to look like it's all in one, you know? I don't want it to look like a little spot. So you might have to go back and forth a few times to get what you're looking for. If you're happy with what you see, don't worry. Alright. Yeah, I must say I'm finding that glazing medium helping me get my paint to move a bit better. Interesting. Like I said, I don't use it a lot, but certain paintings I will. But it helps keep your paint from drying out too fast. See that? So instead of going back for water, because water dries really fast, this glazing medium, just put only glazing medium on your brush, your dirty brush, and you can go over what you did just to smooth it out and blend it in. Isn't that nice? See? I'm thinking I'll leave that alone. I am thinking I'll leave it alone. And so, let's see. See if I can smooth it out a little bit there. With tissue. You don't have to do this, I'm just trying it for, let's see if I get a softer look there in those edges. Now you can do that with a clean brush too. You don't have to use tissue. You can use a clean brush that's never been used. Dry, clean brush, and just scrub over it a little bit just to soften it up. Lots of things you can do. Now, I'm going to add a few little clouds to my sky. We're getting close to done. Very close to being done. I'm going to take my bristle brush and number 8. Now you can use whatever brush you want, but I'm going to use this one because I want to. I kind of like that sky, and I'm not sure, so I don't want to play around too much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white paint with a little bit of, tiny bit of blue, we don't need much. And I'm just going to make some clouds just to give it the brightness. Just going to tap, tap, tap this on. I'm not going to worry too much because all this paint over here is dry now, so we don't want to disturb it too much, right? But you just want to see some little, there we go, nothing too much. Just a little tap, tap, tap. You don't even have to do this if you don't want to. If you're happy with what you see, don't. Because if you put it on, especially white now and everything's dry underneath, it's going to be very difficult then to fix it. Because everything is dry now, see? So you don't want to do anything that you're not sure of. Soften out that edge a little bit. Right. So, you know, it just gives it a little bit of a boost. You know. I add a little bit of red to my white there. So you can watch, but I would suggest that if you're happy, not to do too much, okay? Because once your sky is done, it's, but, you know, if you're happy with it. But I know how you want to learn if you don't do something, but try to make a few little circles too to soften it up, okay? So when you tap, 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 it looks nice. And then when you add these, I'm just using the corner of my brush. You add these little circles to it, gives it a softer look. Right, so just a softer look with the corner of your brush, hardly any paint on it. Scrubbing on a little bit up here too, just to give it a softer look. So, see, the soft look really looks nice, doesn't it? Just little round circles on the corner of my brush with a bit of white and a bit of red. Give it a kind of bright pinkish color. See that soft look, how nice that looks? See? I'm just playing around, so like I say, don't just give it a kind of a, I'm just softening things up basically is what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to destroy everything I already did. So you have to make sure that you don't have very much paint on your brush. You don't even have, like I said, don't do this. It makes me nervous when I got something already done and then I tell you, okay, you can do this and you can do that, and then you end up ruining your painting and you're going to get mad at me. Because once you start doing things up here, you can easily destroy it. See, I'm just adding a little bit of yellow and white. The reason I can do this is because I'm putting very little paint on my brush. I'm using the corner of my brush. I'm not pushing real hard, but hard enough to get it on there. And I'm just making these little circles. So there's not much of a chance of me destroying my painting, because it's just very soft, subtle, with hardly any paint. I'm just playing around. See, gives a kind of a nice effect, doesn't it? Alright, I don't know if there's anything else that we would like to do. Oh yes, there is. There is. Wait, there's more. There's a little bit of a shadow here. So I'm going to use my black and white and my, you know, colors so that I can. And this is a little bit of a, because it's a rhoda and it's, you can see it, this is going to be a little bit of a reflection from this up here, okay? So just put a few little streaks, you don't need much. And that's all you need, see? And then we can just make that look like it's a reflection. And you can even bring in a few little, maybe some little dents in the snow here. Kind of little shadows here, like, alright, so it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. And a little rock here can darken up a little bit. make it stand out a little bit more. Alright, and maybe there's a couple of little rocks. I don't know. Just something that will give it a little bit of interest. Alright, so I think that's it. I don't know. You can keep playing around with your painting. But I think I'm going to call it finished. So I think we'll add a little bit more white back in here. Just a little bit, streaks of white. It's only just some shadows from the sky. Okay, so that's a little too white. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue. And tone it down a little bit. I'll just move it around, that's all. That will take off that bright white, but it'll leave some nice little... There we go, that's better. That kind of, if it's too bright, go back over it with some yellow and red. Not to worry. Not to worry. I almost called it finished, didn't I? Huh? Almost. But you know me. Gotta keep going and going and going. Okay. Alright, so that's a little better there. A little. Alright, so I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow here just to bring out that rock a little bit more. There we go. Just put a little black line around it, that's all. Alright, so that looks pretty good, I think. Do you? Do you like it? Let me know in the comment section if you like it. I'm getting, this is probably a little more intermediate, I guess, or, you know, if you're a beginner, if you're an absolute beginner, I have excellent videos there for if you're like totally brand new. And this one here has a little more detail, need a little more patience, a little more know-how, I guess. And if you know, that's good for people who are painting for a little while, you know, like 2 or 3 paintings under their belt, and this might help. So anyway, let me know in the comment section what you thought of this painting, and if you think it's a little more detailed, a little more for more advanced artists, and how it helped you if you're a beginner. And that's it for now. So I will be on to our next video and our next upcoming paintings. You can check my Patreon page, and you can get the new videos, full tutorials instead of the parts in there. And I'll have some patterns there and everything that you need. If you can't find anything, just email me on the round, AllisonPryor@yahoo.com, and I'll be talking to you soon. Happy painting, everybody. Bye.